I, 30 female, recently found out that my boyfriend, 32 male, secretly sold several pieces of jewelry that I inherited from my deceased relatives to pay for a surprise vacation. I only discovered this when I noticed unexplained bank withdrawals and traced them back to my missing jewelry. He deposited a large amount of money from the jewelry and then withdrew small amounts to cover it up. When I confronted him, he admitted he sold the jewelry to fund the vacation, saying he didn't realize how much it meant to me. He claimed he thought I'd appreciate the trip more than the jewelry. He said, "You've had them for so long and never even looked at them." I asked him where he brought them, and he said, "It's in the past. Let's just move on from this." I'm truly angry. I was devastated and felt completely betrayed. I told him he had to move out because I couldn't stay with someone who would disrespect my personal belongings and trust like that. He's now furious, accusing me of being ungrateful and focusing on the wrong thing. I wish I could send screenshots, but he said, "Hun, just take some time to relax." Breaking up would end a 3-year relationship right away. It's a hard decision. Also, I can't change locks since he's on the lease right now. Am I the idiot for demanding my boyfriend move out after discovering he secretly sold my family heirloom jewelry to fund my surprise vacation? What exactly should you be grateful for? The vacation he's made you pay for? I'd report him to the cops. This is theft. Girl, seriously, he stole from you. What on earth is going on that this isn't an incredibly easy decision? He's a bad person who stole from you. The relationship is over. Please get yourself into some therapy to help you realize how messed up this is and that you deserve better. Right? I'm shocked she would rather stay with someone who doesn't clearly respect her or her property. She's basically funded her own vacation and he stole from her. How hard of a choice is this? Trust went out the window at this point. Not the idiot, but your decision to ask him to move out is justified, given the severity of this betrayal. His attempt to paint you as ungrateful instead of taking responsibility for his actions is manipulative. Further, it proves why you can't trust him. You're not overreacting. This violation strikes at the core of what's needed for a healthy relationship. Take time to process this and prioritize your well-being as you move forward. Update number 1. I filed a report with the police. A detective called me and said he had a history of bank and mortgage fraud. This is completely shocking to me, as he appeared as normal as can be. I'm still in contact with him, trying to find the places where he sold my jewelry, but he refuses to answer me and tells me to let it blow over and to relax. The police will help him accurately remember the pawn shops, but you must report it now. I'm willing to bet the surprise vacation either doesn't exist or is a fraction of what he sold your jewelry for, and he used the rest for something else. In any case, this guy's a thief and can't be trusted. Tell the police you want them to press charges and never let this guy near you again. Let me guess, he went on this vacation too, right? Don't just throw him out. Press charges and sue him for the money. He stole your property and sold it to benefit himself. Check your title deeds and shut down your credit cards now. Please make sure he has no access to your money. Gather your valuables and take them to a trusted family or friend. There's no living with thieves with no boundaries. Update number 2. A detective called me and told me my boyfriend has a criminal record of theft and fraud. Not your average fraud either. He told me he has priors from bank fraud and mortgage frauds. I said I wanted to file a restraining order, but since he's not a violent offender, they said it's tricky. Also, I would probably never be able to get my jewelry back without contact with him. Honey, learn from this. He's a career criminal. You got conned, and now it sounds like you're still falling for his excuses. Unless you want a life of being taken advantage of, it's time to toughen up. Last weekend, my parents went to a wedding and left me, teen male, and my sister, tween female, with our grandparents. My parents wanted us to come with them, and my sister wanted to go to the wedding and get dressed up and stuff. But my sister isn't known for behaving well, and the friends who were getting married didn't want her there as a result. So my parents were in a bad mood, and my sister was upset. My parents coddle my sister a lot. She acts really babyish because she's treated like one by them. They make me act like it too. I'm supposed to be soft and caring with her. They'll make me do stuff with her because she wants to, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. They interrupted me during homework to drive with her and my mom to our extracurricular activities because my sister wanted me in the car. They make me give her hugs if she wants them, even if I don't. I have to hold her hand if she wants to hold mine. They took the lock off my door at home, so I'd need to let her sleep in my room if she wanted to. Stuff like that is normal for us, and saying no doesn't do anything. My grandparents have said they've gone too far as well, but my parents brushed it off. My sister doesn't like sleeping anywhere but in our house. She's hated the idea of going to our grandparents, and yeah, we'd have stayed in a hotel if we had joined our parents for the wedding, so don't ask me how that would have worked. But after our parents dropped us off, my sister was super clingy with me, and she wanted to do stuff together the entire day and be home with her to put her to bed. My grandparents knew my friends wanted to meet up, so they gave me money and sent me out for the day, until late that night. My sister begged me not to go. She cried and threw a fit and continued after I left. When I got home, she still wasn't asleep, but my grandparents made sure I could stay in my room alone and let me lock it. My parents were so angry when they picked me up and my sister was still upset. My grandparents told them, our parents, they should be ashamed for letting it get that bad. My parents told me I should be ashamed for leaving my sister in distress like that, and where was my love for my baby sister, with a strong emphasis on the baby part. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and good for your grandparents for getting you some breathing room to hang out with your friends and sleep alone. Seriously, what the heck is that? Your parents aren't doing your sister any favors by babying her like that. They're setting her up for failure in the real world. They will be lucky if you ever speak to them again once you escape from them and their overgrown baby. Exactly. Are they going to force OP to attend a nearby community college instead of a university further away and dorm elsewhere? Make OP get a hard-to-find remote job that doesn't do online meetings that sister can interrupt with a lockless door at whim when she's feeling lonely? Forbid him from moving out of the house because no roommate would tolerate a clingy sister not being able to access the apartment at a moment's notice? There's a reasonable accommodation to medical issues and disabilities, and then there's coddling. Your parents are confusing the former with the latter. Can you move in with your grandparents? I'd be afraid your parents will try to force you to stay home after graduation from high school because they need you to hold your sister's hand. How is your sister ever going to be a functional adult when they treat her and you like this? You are not your sister's emotional support human, and they'll get a rude awakening in a couple of years when you move far away from them. I, 28, had been with my fiance, Alex, 34, for 4 years. We met at a friend's party, hit it off, and have been together ever since. He finished his doctorate in economics just last year. Since then, he's been working at the university. I have my master's in media sciences and decided to start working instead of going for a PhD. Okay, the problem is that Alex broke up with me last Monday. It was literally so surreal and honestly just weird. For the past few months, he's been acting strange. He was making demands and then dropping them immediately. A few examples. He told me we would paint our walls back from dark green to white. When I asked why, he just said, "For goodness sake, forget it," and never brought it up again, even when I asked. Another time he came home and got angry because I was sitting on the couch with my head covered in a blanket. I had cramps. He was upset because I was just sitting there watching Netflix. Mind you, the house was spotless. When I tried to talk about it, he said, "Forget it. It's not a big deal." This kind of thing became common. Every time I tried to communicate, tried to figure out what was going on, whether it was something I did or maybe he was just stressed at work, he would say everything was fine, but he was clearly seething with rage. I didn't have to do anything. He would find something to complain about: the apartment, clothes, me, work, etc. So I gave him space, which apparently was also wrong. I told him I would help my parents with repairs for a few days, and somehow that was also wrong because he wanted to renovate the apartment too. Then on Monday, I got a text saying we needed to talk. I knew what was coming, and after the last few months, I had made peace with it. When I came home, he was sitting on the couch. He didn't even wait for me to remove my jacket before saying, "I want to break up." Then the verbal diarrhea started. He told me he resented me, first because I didn't pursue my academic career further, even though I was capable, and he didn't want to upset me at the time. Then when I started making more money, since he didn't make much as a PhD student, He felt like I should have the last word financially, and he hated it. I never said anything like, "It's my money, so I have the final say." That's a rule he imposed on himself, and he hated it. He said he hated our paint scheme, the couch, and even our crock pot. Then he told me he had rejected a better PhD program to stay here because I had already started my job when he got the acceptance letters. Only he never told me he had even applied overseas. He said a few months ago he checked in with a friend in that program, saw how they were thriving, and decided I had ruined his life. He said I had too much control over his life and that he hated the idea that I could decide not to pay for things and mess him over. I honestly don't even know what that means. He also said he hated that all his friends loved me and didn't let him vent about me. Then he said again, "I'm done." I was floored. I had already made peace with the idea that we were ending and it hurt. But after that rant, I was just disgusted. I looked at him, probably with a disgusted expression, and said, "Okay." He lost it. He said this is exactly what he meant, that it was horrible. We had been together for 4 years, and all I had to say was, "Okay" to our breakup. I just asked if he wanted to stay here while he figured out where to go. He said, "Typical. Of course you're holding the apartment over me," and started ranting again. So I just left. I told my parents and they were also confused. My dad suggested I contact our landlord and explain the situation to see my options. I can keep paying the rent easily myself. He covered the utilities and some subscriptions. Just to reiterate, I never had a problem with this. I saw that he was chasing his dream, and that was more important to me than a 50-50 financial split. I make good money and I'm happy at my job. I never saw it as slaving away. I always believed that my money was our money because we were building a life together. Of course, I had savings and fun money, but I never cared. I was fine with it as long as I felt he was working towards something and wasn't taking advantage of me. More than fine. Alex is still angry. He's going between texting me like a robot about the logistics of the split to being a seething idiot complaining about everything. I'm not even hurt anymore. I feel nauseated by him at this point. I don't know. Should I have reacted differently? Not the idiot. The dude basically said he hates you and everything about you. What are you supposed to do? Beg for his love when you can find someone who'll give it to you readily? No. Sorry this happened and that you were blindsided, but this will be a good thing in the long run. On to the next. For what it's worth, he sounds jealous, insecure, and emotionally stunted. If what you've written is how things played out, then you dodged a huge bullet. My 30 male, wife 34 female, and I have been together for 8 years, 5 of them married. I thought we were the kind of couple that could tell each other any problem. I loved her deeply and always believed she felt the same about me. Like many couples, we had our ups and downs, but I never thought it could lead to infidelity. 4 months ago, I started noticing changes in her behavior. She was more distant, always glued to the phone, and avoiding our conversations. You know, the typical things about a cheating person. Well, one day, I came across a message on her phone that confirmed what I feared the most. She was seeing someone else. It was like a punch in the stomach. I felt anger, sadness, and an overwhelming sense of betrayal. But instead of confronting her right away, I decided to wait. My main issue was to protect myself from a possible divorce. If I was going to face this situation, I wanted solid evidence. So I spent the next 2 months gathering messages, photos, and anything else I could use if things got legally difficult. During those 2 months, I pretended to be normal while the pain piled up. I watched her act like everything was fine, and with each passing day, my feelings for her faded. The love I once felt was replaced by indifference. If anyone says that love for someone doesn't go away, it's not entirely true. When I finally gathered all the evidence, I confronted her. I showed her everything I knew, and although she tried to deny it at first, she finally admitted that she had been having an affair. She said it was a mistake, that she still loved me, and that she wanted to work things out. But by then, I didn't feel anything anymore. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I didn't even get angry. I simply told her that it was okay, that we could get a divorce, and that we could each move on with our lives. My lack of emotion baffled her. She said my indifference was cold and cruel, and that if I had truly loved her, I should have fought to save our marriage, which was ironic coming from her. But the truth was that I did love her very much. Only after 2 months of living with the betrayal in silence did I not care. Am I the idiot for becoming indifferent towards my wife after discovering her affair? Not the idiot. Remember this. The only reason she's sorry is that she got caught. And the only reason she's attacking your lack of emotion is because it gives you the upper hand. She would be happier, apparently, if you were a mess and devastated. She's lying about how much she loves you. I hope that's clear. She might care, but not enough to remain faithful, and not enough to let you go in a healthy and drama-free way. LMAO, I love her projecting. She could have fought for marriage by simply not cheating. It's so simple. I honestly would have laughed. Was the affair still going on when you confronted her? Also, if I was you and the other guy was married, I'd tell his wife, blow it all up. No one deserves to be the pathetic loser oblivious to this. And I say this as someone who was oblivious. If she really loved you, she wouldn't have cheated with another dude. The indifference you're feeling is probably a defense mechanism. Don't be surprised if you have a lot of different emotions. Moving forward, focus on healing and what's best for you. Consider seeking counseling to process your emotions and the end of your marriage in a healthy way. Good luck, OP.